Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we will continue with the story of Flash Forward, where Wally West continues traveling through the multiverse, fighting against heroes who, in this world, are villains. My name is Wally West. I've been tasked with purging the dangerous dark multiversal matter from different worlds across the multiverse. Each reality looks a lot like mine, just strange. This particular Earth already feels like a nightmare. 237 people thrown off the side of a ship, nearly a mile above what looks very much like Gotham City. It's hard to be sure when you're running from one alternate reality to another. I can't really do anything until they get close enough for me to grab them. And that's exactly what I do. Everyone is in free fall, but I'm fast enough to catch them. Everything seemed to be going well with Wally and the people he had rescued. But suddenly, something strange could be heard. It was as if a missile was approaching at high speed. The weird part? It wasn't a missile, it was a ship. I'm glad I heard it with enough time to act. I quickly take everyone to the next rooftop. They'll be safe here. The people wonder if Wally can really protect them from them, referring to the villains of this place. Wally tells them that he'll need a few more details before making any promises. The truth is, I want to help, of course. But something tells me that a falling cruise ship isn't the reason I was sent here. Tempest has me cleaning up the multiverse to prevent all of reality from eroding into oblivion. But this feels like a local problem. A super problem has arrived. One of the villains the people feared the most. Superman is here. The Vampire Justice League is going to take down Wally West. Wally asks why. Superman wants to know if he's asking why Superman is here or why he's a vampire. Flash tells him both, actually, and also asks why Superman is going after these people in the streets. Superman tells him that his people need to feed. They're going to eat the civilians. Flash tells him that the last Superman he met was the President of the United States, and he liked that one way more than this world's version. But one thing at a time, he's going to take care of these vampires. Wally doesn't see any dark matter around, but that doesn't mean he can't help these innocent people. People are being rescued. No more deaths in this place, which feels a little hypocritical, considering how many of my friends I've helped die. But I need to focus. I need to trust that Tempest sent me to this world for a reason. The undead have never really been my thing, but I'll give it a shot. In fact, I'll give this Superman about 100 little shots. To be honest, back on my own Earth, I wouldn't even attempt something as suicidal as trying to take down Superman. Everything seems to be going well, but how am I keeping track of the number of hits? Is this what Tempest meant when he said I'm unleashed? Can I hold two different thoughts at the same time? I've never been this fast. I've never thought this fast. With every moment, I can feel myself changing. The hits are working. Wally has managed to knock Superman down. The problem is, he can't kill this thing. It's still Superman, but he's also a vampire, which means, hopefully, he doesn't have to. Kryptonite is to Superman what wood is to vampires. And since this guy is both, Wally is willing to bet this will work. And it does. The wooden stake manages to take down this Superman. Clark tells Wally that when he gets free, he will make sure Wally suffers a long and slow death. Meanwhile, someone has been watching him from a distance. That person realizes that Flash is good, but he didn't kill that monster, Superman, which makes him look like an idiot. Then, someone else appears and hits Wally hard. It's Flash. Barry Allen. Barry tells Wally that once, they used to believe as he does, until the leader of the Eternal Night showed them the way. Soon, the entire world will know that the shadows belong to them. He was once Barry Allen in a past life. Maybe he's thinking about that now. The person who had been watching Wally gives him credit for holding his own against Flash. He definitely deserves some respect for that. Barry keeps fighting Wally, telling him that once they free Superman, they will consume the humans here as punishment for their arrogance. Wally asks if it's his fault that they're all vampires now. Flash tells him no, not at all. So far, they've been content ruling the night. But tonight, they have received a mysterious gift. Wally has a guess. Let me guess, multiversal dark energy? Suddenly, Barry's appearance begins to change. Flash tells Wally to stay still while he turns him into one of them. Wally doesn't understand why Barry suddenly looks like Arsenal. None of them should be able to move this fast. My mind is blaming me, trying to trick me. The downside of being unleashed. Barry's got me. This is it. The Flash from another universe is about to die right here. Wally tells him no. It's never too late. Where there is life, there is hope. He has been through too much to die in this doomed world. He came to rescue people, not die in this place. Before Barry can finish him off, someone attacks him from behind with arrows. For Wally, only one of two things could have happened. Either those arrows fell from the sky, or someone nearby is helping him. Barry starts dying, but at the same time, his mind clears. Before disappearing, he thanks Wally. Flash explodes. Wally doesn't know how Barry became a vampire, but he does know that Barry never meant to kill anyone. I know that because I know what that feels like. Once Barry is gone, Wally turns to the one who fired the arrows. The speedster is shocked to discover that the one responsible is Roy Harper. Roy asks where he came from. Wally tells him it's a long story, but thanks him for the help. His main question is, why are all the heroes vampires? And more importantly, how is Roy Harper even here? Roy asks him who he is and how he knows his name. Wally tells him, because once, I was your friend. Because in one world, he killed him. Well, he doesn't say that out loud, he only thinks it. What he does say is that he doesn't belong here. He comes from another world, a different world. All Roy does is kill the undead, and Flash isn't one of them, so he has no business with him in this place. Flash chases after him. He might be able to help him somehow. Roy knows that maybe he could, but the problem is that he doesn't trust him. He doesn't know him. Wally asks for a chance. He's already seen what he can do. Honestly, he's not even sure that their problems aren't connected. Roy tells him that the Justice League is dead, feeling particularly bold tonight. Maybe it has something to do with what he's looking for. Roy is glad that Spoiler was able to help him in any way possible, if it means taking him into a fight with Batman. Wally asks if he knows where Batman lives. Surprisingly, in this place, everyone knows where the Bat lives. It's just that no one is crazy enough to go in there. It seems that, after all, they're going to work together as a team. Roy introduces himself and asks for Wally's name. It's Wally's turn to introduce himself. He's Flash, so, well, whatever. Welcome to this hell, Wally West. Wally explains that he was sent here because dark multiversal energy is leaking into this universe. Though, to be honest, he hasn't seen any of it in this place yet. Could that be the reason why all the heroes became vampires? Roy tells him that vampires go beyond all of this, and it's too sad. Batman used to be the best of the best until he decided they needed to become vampires to defeat Dracula. Once Batman turned into a vampire, Wally could guess the rest. To Wally, this sounds uncomfortably similar to the Batman he knew. Roy tells him it's good to know there are some things you can count on in every reality. But he might be right about this dark energy. The vampires seem to think that the balance of power has shifted. Something has kept them especially excited these past few days. Wally asks if Roy was really planning to take on the Justice League with just a bow, arrows, and some attitude. Roy tells him yes, of course. There's something Wally has to say. If it means anything, Roy is just as stubborn and crazy as he is in Wally's reality. A little further ahead, we see them trying to enter the Batcave. This is crazy. One of my best friends, alive again. I wish I could stay in this place, but I can't. Roy sets up some explosives to get inside the Batcave. Flash tells him there's an easier way. If he trusts him, they can just phase through. Roy doesn't feel like he has many options, so he'll let Wally lead. This has gone quite well. Roy Harper is not a fan of speedsters, but what the hell is all this black stuff in the Batcave? It looks like they've found the dark matter Wally was looking for. What they're seeing is the most corrosive and evil substance in existence, seeping into this world. If their Batman is some kind of dark vampire overlord, it makes sense that this energy would be drawn here first. The problem with this energy is that it can destroy entire worlds and devour them in seconds. To take this dark energy, fortunately, Wally has the device Tempest gave him. Before Wally can use it, he is attacked by a batarang. Vampire Batman has arrived to stop them. He thanks them, but no, he won't allow them to take this dark matter. He has analyzed it and realized that he can use it to sustain an entire world of vampires. They won't have to depend on humans for sustenance anymore. Roy tells him that's not going to happen. Wally has to get his device back to capture the dark energy. While Wally uses his speed to collect all the dark energy, Roy Harper is struck down by Batman. Now it's time for Flash. The Bat, now a vampire, can tell by his scent that he doesn't belong to this world. Wally tells him that he's Flash, the fastest man in the multiverse. He is from any Earth that needs him, just like this one needs him now. It's time to put an end to Batman. Wally hates doing this. He phases him directly into the nuclear reactor at the heart of the cave. And that's why kids should never play with nuclear reactors. They can end up trapped inside one, like Batman. Apparently, he was as good as Earth Zero's Bruce Wayne. There's no way Wally can beat him. But this should keep him contained until someone figures out how to cure his vampirism, no matter how long it takes. If he has to be in eternal agony. Well, Wally certainly knows what that feels like. Wally goes back to Roy, who tells him that once again he failed. He watched his best friend from his main Earth die. Now, in this vampire Earth, he meets the same fate. Despite everything, Roy dies with a smile. Live or die, he did it with his eyes wide open. I've been so busy feeling sorry for myself that I only saw Roy as a victim instead of the hero he always was, right until the end. After watching his friend die again, Wally remembers everything that was taken from him. I used to hear their tiny feet hitting the floor, their little fingers turning the doorknob. It was so hard to pretend to be asleep just enough so my kids wouldn't come bother me. Wally is woken up by his children. They are Jay and Iris. My light, my life, my everything. And, of course, here's the woman I had these kids with. Linda Park West, also my everything. Moments like these are why I spend so much time saving the world. Everything was so incredible, so amazing. I had built a good life for my family. Although sometimes, it felt like a dream that would soon float away. I told Linda, I'm here. This is real. We are real. She has to trust me. I will never let this end. That's what I thought. Because suddenly, everything ends. It's too late. I promised my kids, my wife, that everything would be okay. I vibrate through the houses to rescue them. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to save my kids. I don't understand what's happening. Iris and Jay are gone. And just like that, in an instant, I lose everything. Before Flashpoint threw me into the Speed Force, I knew exactly who I was. A dad, a husband. But now, I'm just the fastest man in the multiverse. The memories end, and Wally continues fighting in the multiverse. Flash takes a strong hit. Someone tells him to wake up, or he'll lose his head. He has to do something to defend himself before his enemy kills him. His enemy apologizes for not giving him his name. He is the super demon Etrigan. Flash tells him that if he had waited a micro-instant, he could have guessed it. But he doesn't understand. Just a moment ago, he was at home. What happened to the kids? And he also wants to know why he's here. Etrigan tells him that all his thoughts have been stripped away, but he can attest that he never left. Etrigan continues his attack. Wally asks him to let him handle this in a way he can understand. He is the Flash from an alternate reality. He's bad at the multiverse. He tells him he has to allow him to purge the destructive dark matter. If he doesn't, all worlds will fall as things drift apart. Etrigan tells him that his rhyme wasn't so bad, but he needs to know something. The demon doesn't believe anything he's saying. They won't just stand by and let him destroy their planet. Wally tells him he's misunderstanding. He may be the only hope, and all he needs to do is help, but he doesn't have to ask for details because he doesn't have them either. Suddenly, someone new arrives. She is Starfire, who demands to know what's happening here. And she does so in the name of the Justice Outlaws. Etrigan says things are now worse than feared. What started strange has now become super weird. Wally knows that something tells him these two don't know each other or even come from the same Earth. To understand how Wally got to this Earth, let's travel back a bit into the past. Earlier, Flash asked Tempest where he was. After he buried the king of the other Earth, he ran to the next world. But something strange happened. What fresh hell is this? Tempest tells him it's a place that doesn't exist, where they can see all the worlds that have been contaminated by the multiversal dark matter somewhere. The fact that Flash has accessed this place is proof that he is unchained forever. Wally tells him he keeps throwing that word around as if it means something to him. If he wants him to be his multiversal problem solver, he needs to explain how all this started in the first place. Tempest tells him they don't have time for that. The dark matter is trying to destroy two worlds by merging them. Wally gets it. Two worlds can't exist in one place. It's time for Flash to get out there and do something. Tempest knows that even if he could tell him his true mission, the information wouldn't do him any good. For centuries, he has carried out the most abominable tasks to keep the multiverse safe. But nothing has prepared him for designing the final fate of such a poor soul. And well, here we are, all these heroes from two worlds desperately fighting for their own reality. One is a horrorverse, the other, I don't really know what it is. It seems like an amalgam verse where heroes are mixed with other heroes. sometimes even mixed with villains. I want to get between them, make them understand that they need to work together if they want any hope of survival. But would I surrender if my world were threatened? Would I believe the word of a stranger when everything I cared about was at risk? Not in my entire life would I do something like that. Tempest told me that I was the only one who could prevent this multiversal dark matter from corroding and destroying worlds across the dark multiverse. But I can't destroy the dark matter without the tools Tempest gave me, like that staff. I dropped it after that hit from the super demon. I have to do everything I can to reach that staff. So I start vibrating to shake off the super demon and then start running. It's the only hope I have of separating these worlds. As thin as that hope may be, I was about to grab the staff when suddenly, someone else snatches it. At this moment, we see this world's speedster. She tells Wally he's too slow. No one is faster than lightspeed. Wally is shocked by what he's seeing. It can't be. Linda is here, in this place. He has to tell her right now who he is. He's Flash, he's Wally, her husband. Lightspeed brushes him off. Everything he just said is really creepy. She doesn't know who he thinks he is, but this whole day has been crazy, so she won't hold it against him. Now she's going to ask some questions. If she doesn't get answers, she'll break his little toy into so many pieces he won't be able to use it. Wally grabs her and apologizes. He won't let her do that. Lightspeed asks why. Does he think it's because he claims to be her husband and thinks he can control her? Wally tells her that wouldn't happen in any alternate world they found themselves in. Then, we see the two of them running. Linda asks Wally if he's faster than her. Wally asks if she can run through entire universes. As far as Linda knows, no? Then Wally is faster. He's sorry, he should have explained. They were in the Speed Force, which not only gives them their speed, but also allows them to go back in time and observe. Linda tells him she's not an idiot. She knows what the Speed Force is. With all these words, what is he trying to say? Wally tells her that he has two worlds to try and separate before they destroy each other. He can't do that without this staff, and he simply can't do it without her. Linda doesn't know who he is, but something tells her he won't stop bothering her about this. So here we go. I've been alone since the moment I was thrown into the original Speed Force. Since I was separated from the kids and from Linda. Is that what Tempest means when he says I'm unchained? That I no longer have anyone to keep me grounded? To stop my mind from racing? To keep my heart beating? I know this isn't Linda Park, or at least not the Linda Park I married. But for the first time in a long time, I don't feel alone. I'd say it's enough to help me move mountains, but it's much more than that. It's an eternity disguised as a moment. I'm able to forget everything I've lost. I forget the death I brought to these heroes. My heart fills with hope, and that is enough. Everything returns to how it was. The worlds have been separated again. After everything ended, Linda tells him she never pushed herself to go that fast before. It's like they were controlling the Speed Force. When they were in there, she caught a glimpse of his past, of his world. Linda knows she will never be the Linda of his Earth, the woman he loved. But she knows much more about her powers now, and maybe he can teach her when all this is over. Wally is sorry. In the entire multiverse, there is only one woman for him. After those words, the two share a kiss before Wally leaves. Wally leaves this place. It's time to return to the starting point. To Wally's surprise, he arrives in a completely different world. In this place, there are statues of all the heroes who died because of Flash. But why here? Why on this planet? In my stomach, I can feel the answer churning. Suddenly, I realize why I was the only person in the entire multiverse who even had a chance to accomplish this. Suddenly, Wally is interrupted. Small voices start to be heard. His kids are here. Wally, in tears, runs to reach his children. Iris is happy that her father is here, but there's something he needs to do for them. Wally tells her absolutely anything she wants. Well, what she needs him to do is run. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.